Hey everyone, it's Nathan Orenstein with The No Show, here to talk about The White Tiger. The White Tiger is written and directed by Ramin Bahrani and stars Adarsh Gourav, Rajkummar and Priyanka Chopra. It's based on the novel of the same name by Aravind Adiga and is available to stream on Netflix. The White Tiger is about Balram, a young man living in poverty in India who becomes the driver and servant for the landlord of his village in order to better his situation. It's a story of rising from rags to riches, and it's all narrated by the now very successful Balram of the present. The White Tiger is a movie that wants to be this big statement about the rich and the poor, and it wants to be this epic story of rising from the bottom to the top, but it ultimately proves too ambitious for its own good. The story here is compelling enough, but the way in which it's told just doesn't really work. There are large passages where nothing of meaning really happens at all, and then there are other passages where it seems like everything is happening. The second half in particular is really messy, and by the end, the payoff just kind of felt a bit goofy to me. That's not to say it's not entertaining though. The pacing is admittedly very rough, but even in the parts where there's very little development, it was never boring. The main reason for this is we get a very entertaining lead performance by Adarsh Gourav playing Balram. His performance, combined with the bits of voiceover narration throughout the film, is always fun and easily digestible. I don't think the character itself is written particularly well, but he's a compelling enough protagonist with a very likable performance. I really wasn't too keen on the rest of the characters and performances, but they all serve their purpose well enough. Getting back to the story, it's a bit nonsensical to be honest. Don't get me wrong, having a nonsensical story isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the movie takes itself awfully seriously to come across as this goofy. There's political intrigue, familial disputes, and broad discussions of power and wealth, but I was never really able to feel the full gravity of any of these things within the context of the story. Even the narration, which is fine, felt too tongue-in-cheek for this subject matter. The tone as a whole is just kind of all over the place and never felt cohesive, meaning that these big themes never felt as powerful as they probably should have been. I wouldn't say it's written poorly by any means, but the script is certainly not anything to get excited about either. I do want to give a shout out to a couple of the technical aspects of this film though. For one, I loved the way this thing was shot. The use of close-ups scattered throughout the film worked really well, and I thought it was especially interesting to see how cinematographer Paolo Carnera framed each of his shots. Secondly, I thought the editing ties everything together really well and really smoothly. The editing is always able to match the pace of the film, which as I mentioned before is constantly changing, and I do think it added a lot to the movie as a whole. The White Tiger, though nothing to write home about, is a perfectly enjoyable and consistently entertaining film. I think it is worth watching if you're in the mood for a semi-mindless rags to riches story. At the end of the day though, it's an okay movie, and I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. If you enjoyed the review, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. And if you've seen The White Tiger already, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. I've been Nathan Orenstein with The No Show. Thanks for watching.